This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
Welcome, and this is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago, and I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is May 26th. This is show number 41, and the markets are on fire. We're looking at the Dow breaking 25,000, S&P 3,000. Lots going on here, so we need to get your insight, Nick, into what is going on.
Well, today we have a pretty big day, or a pretty big rally, I should say, in the marketplace. You have the Dow now up 620 points. The Dow has now crossed the 25,000 mark, is sitting at 25,087. So that's a pretty big move and a very, very big round number. And when markets cross those round numbers, and if they hold, they got to hold by the close and then by the week. And then really, it's really foretelling of potentially even more upside to come. You also have the S&P today closing, or I should say trading above the 3,000 level. That's a very, very psychological number for the S&P 500. So that's a really, really good sign as well. Again, you want to see a close up here if that happens, especially a weekly closing basis. That would be very, very positive for the markets going forward.
Yeah, and we can never underestimate the value of psychology in the market, right?
No, you can't. It's everything, right? So when people go out there and they trade, they're looking at confidence. They have confidence in the marketplace. If nobody has confidence, nobody's going to do really anything. Just like if you're going to go out and buy a new car, you're confident that you can make that payment, or you're confident that you have the money. So it's all about confidence. The market has always been about confidence, and it's showing some confidence today. So it's a broad-based rally. We have really a big expansion of different sectors that are participating, and that's a good sign.
And so it's a broad-based rally?
Oh, yeah. You have financials, which have been kind of on the weaker side, showing really good strength today. JP Morgan in particular up over 5%. Goldman Sachs up over 6%. Morgan Stanley up over 6%. And Citigroup almost up 88% here. So that's a really, really changing character. The financials have been the laggards recently, so they're participating. You have retail participating, airlines, energy. I mean, you name it. The only groups that I'm seeing that are weak today are gold miners, and really we're seeing some weakness in a lot of the cloud stocks that were up big into the coronavirus scare. They're starting to retreat a bit, but that's typical. That's money coming off the table going into other industry groups.
Interesting. So gold miners, and we've been expecting a pullback in gold prices, a consolidation, if you will, maybe not necessarily a pullback, but at least a leveling out and a chance to digest all the gains that have occurred over the past couple of months.
Yeah, like I've been saying, I really want to see the gold. I was expecting them to pull back like they're doing now, and that's really healthy. So today you have gold itself. When you look at futures, they're down 24 points. But again, it's had such a big move. You're still above 1,700, trading at 1,711 and a half an ounce. But that's a good thing to see. A retreat. You don't want to see these things go parabolic, like we said, and I've been talking about on the program. When that happens, it's over. So that's a good sign. There'll be another play in gold. There'll be another play in gold miners. It's just not today. It's just not right now. And when they reset themselves, I'll be letting everybody know.
Yeah. So there's still lots of life left in the gold bull.
Oh yeah. That's not going away anytime soon. In fact, when you look at the chart, this is exactly what you're hoping to see. If anybody thinks, or anybody's hoping that owns gold, you want to see it go straight up, then I could just say they don't understand the mechanics of the markets and how they work, because anything that goes straight up in a straight line will come crashing right back down. What goes up comes right back down.
Yeah, that's for sure. So where we've been, basically the entire world was saying that we're headed for another crash, a retest of the March lows. And now, is it confirmation that we're really not going to see that?
Well, right now I'm not seeing it. I'm never going to say never. You never know what can happen in this market. Honestly, Kerry, I was looking for the markets to sell off in the first half of this year like they did. I never thought we'd sell off that quickly and actually crash down to those March lows in all the indexes. So you never say never, but right now I just don't see it, and I haven't seen it. And I've been, doing this show with you and basically saying, we're not going to go up every day. They'll be backing and filling, but the trend is up now, and we want to stick with that until it tells us otherwise.
But so for now, the charts are saying it's full speed ahead, huh?
They are, and if we can close up here on a daily chart basis, but more importantly, even on a weekly chart basis, there's still a lot more upside here.
All right, so let's look at our energy sector. You said that's up today?
Yeah, energy's up. In fact, oil's having a huge day. It's up 88 cents, trading above $34 a barrel. Now, I think oil's an area that has had a great run, so it will need to digest these gains. But I mean, it's tremendous because you see things opening up, you see economies starting to open up. People are actually starting to get on airplanes again, if you could believe it or not.
I know the president of Delta said the flights are 30 to 40% full. When they hit 60, they're going to start adding more planes. It's just like what you said, the replay of after 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, human beings are human beings. We're traveling creatures. We just like to explore. We like to go to new places. We like to visit. We like to get out. We're not meant to be, crammed into a home or a cave. Just think about it. If you're living in New York City, a lot of people in New York City have studio apartments. Just think about sitting in your studio apartment for 12 weeks.
I can't even picture it. I got a pretty good sized space here. My son and I have been here. He takes one floor, I take the other, and we do okay. And then you can just walk out the front door and not worry about a million people on the street. But it looks like certain states are just refusing to reopen, like Michigan, California. But people are really about to put a stop to that.
Either way, we are seeing, the politics behind all of this, and I think it's going to hurt some politicians come November. So, let them do it if that's what they want, if that's what they feel they need to do. Play the political game, but the reality of it is, if you don't open up the economy, the people will.
Yep, that's for sure. And we saw it in Florida. People are going to the beach. The fact is, according to Dr. Ted Noel, who's been a frequent guest on my show, retired critical care physician, there's been no reported cases of people getting COVID from outdoor transmission. None.
Well, Diego, I'm not a doctor or anybody in that space, but I'll tell you, I've been going out the entire time. Now the streets have been empty, but I live in a little bit of a nice residence where you have a lot of walking trails. We have a big lake where I live. So, I mean, I've been seeing people out constantly, and thank goodness I'm fortunate to live where I do. But, if you keep people cooped up inside, that is not healthy in and of itself. Yeah. So I just think that people need to get outdoors. They need sunlight. They need fresh air.
Absolutely.
After all, these are all things that make you healthy.
Yeah, sunlight is the best disinfectant. The UV A rays, B rays, and just the general UV spectrum. That's what we use to kill germs in hospitals, in places where it needs to be a sterile environment, clean rooms, all these things. So anyways, but hey, getting back to travel, hotels, are we starting to see movement in the hotel sector?
Yeah, the hotel stocks are all up pretty big today. So when I look at, the charts of these things, you have Hyatt up almost 8%. You have Marriott up 5.5%, Hilton's up 5%, and Choice Hotels is up about 4.9% today. So obviously the Memorial Day bounce is hitting the markets, and people are saying, hey, things are starting to pick up out here. And the president has already come back and said, even if there is a second a flare up of cases, COVID cases, we're not shutting down anymore, and that's a positive right there.
Yeah, I think he got played, and I think that the powers that be, played him one last time, but he's not going to fall for it again. What other sectors? So big box retail, how are we looking there?
Yeah, retail right now has been strong. Today, if you look at the XRT, which is the S&P 500 retail ETF, it's really up big. It's up $1.30 at the moment. That's about 3.25%. So that's a pretty big move overall. And you have to respect it when you start to see some of these retailers that have been basically down and out in Beverly Hills here starting to catch a bid. That's the market's way of talking to you. And you have stocks out here like Dillard's up $2 today. Even Macy's. Macy's is a $5 stock, $5.71. It's up 10% today. It's a 50-cent gain. But when you see that, it just catches your eye because these stocks have been really known to be dead already, and they're really catching some big bids. We've talked about Best Buy on the program. That's up decently today. So I'll be looking at some retailers today. I have up my eye on a couple. I'm just waiting for these chart patterns to give me that signal to jump on board.
Okay. And of course, if people are shopping, if they're traveling, if you're staying in a hotel, then you're going out to restaurants, right?
You're going out to restaurants. You have to eat. I was just away this past weekend. We went out to dinner every night. It was fantastic. So that was great to just be able to do that again. And the restaurant stocks, in my opinion, are all looking very, very strong. As you know, I own McDonald's. That's up $4.40 today. So that's making a big move. Really, all the restaurant stocks are up with the exception of Chipotle Grill. That's the only one that I see down. But that has made a huge move already. This stock went from basically in March a low of 415, and it just put a high in this morning at around 1,087. So,
Amazing.
Just think of the gain there. So it's really just parabolic, and that's going to need to pull back.
Yeah, for sure. So our energy is looking good. You're still in BP and USO?
Yeah, I have BP call options. I have USO call options. And again, they're all doing pretty well at the moment. So everything's up across the board. USO today is up about 3%. BP is up 1.3%. But again, I have time on the clock for those. Don't expire till the end of the year. We're actually till October. So again, I'm underwater on those options plays, but
Not much
I like
now.
the patterns. I like the patterns on the charts.
Yeah, well, BP has come roaring back, and maybe oil USO they've restructured, so it's hard to say how it's going to react to what's happening now. But all very fascinating markets because a month and a half ago it was given up for dead, the stock market, right? Like generational losses. It's going to take a decade to recoup those losses. Everything is going down the tubes. And yet the charts seem to be saying otherwise. And now the market is affirming the charts.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I always tell traders, you want to just let the charts tell you what to do. Let them guide you. You're not going to be right 100% of the time. Sometimes you'll just get it wrong, and the markets could reverse for whatever reason. There's always something that could you just might have missed. But for the most part, when you follow the charts and you know these patterns that repeat over and over again, and I've handwritten charts out myself going back to the 1800s, and you see these same patterns play out, and they're just footprints of human nature. And again, that's why we want to use charts. That's why we want to pay attention to them. I hardly watch the news. If I could tell you the truth, I don't even really care what they say on the financial news, nor will I ever watch the regular news because that's so slanted. You just can't even get anything out of that. But again, it's all about the charts, and you don't even have to listen to me. If you just learn what I do, you could do it as well.
Yeah, that is a great point. And you got to be a contrarian, right? This was maybe the contrarian play of the decade, Nick, and we're only in the first year of the decade. Well, depending how you look at it, or either the last year of the last decade or the first year of this decade. Take your pick. But this could be the contrarian play of the decade.
Well, it certainly has been a contrarian play. Time will tell if it's the contrarian play of the decade. But I will say this. As long as the charts tell me to continue with long side plays, I think there's really nothing else to think about. You just stick with the charts until it tells you it's over. And right now, markets are acting very, very well. I don't really see any real issue. Now, with that being said, they're not going to go up every day, right? Tomorrow you could be down, turn around Tuesday or something like that, whatever the people coin these phrases. You could get something like that. But, again, we've had that week or two ago with Options X. We had a couple big sell-offs. And, what did I do? I sat in the driver's seat and said, no, this is not anything to really worry about. Markets will continue higher, and so far, I've been correct. So, again, like I said, it's a humbling business, but you just follow the charts; they'll tell you what to do.
And clearly, the so-called experts, the financial pundits that you see on CNBC, Fox Business News, and all the mainstream, they really don't know anything about charts, do they?
No, they really don't. In fact, I consult for several hedge funds. These guys have no clue about charts. All they look at are, the fundamental things that are out there. They'll go and they'll look at the job numbers. They'll go and look at all of these backward-looking economic numbers, and that's really what they are. They're rear-view mirror numbers. They're in the back. The market don't look in the rear-view mirror. The market looks through the windshield, the front windshield. So again, you want to look forward.
Yeah, it's so amazing to see because, look, we started doing this. This is our 41st episode. So it was right after the crash. And you've been consistent in your view here, what the charts were saying. And the naysayers, the mainstream financial media, has been consistent in what they're saying. And look who's been right and look who's been wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is, but that's usually the case. So I actually love hearing that when they're completely opposite of of my direction. That is music to my ears. The more people I hear that are talking the markets down, the better off it is for me, to be honest.
Hey, and one point I'd like to make, that just because a stock has crashed or a sector has crashed doesn't automatically make it a buying opportunity, right?
No, not at all. In fact, the market really did not become a buying opportunity for me until around March 19th, March 20th. I told the members, within the next few days, we should be putting a bottom in. Now, that's a bit more complicated to get into on how that was done. But, I've been in this business for, over half my life now. So the reality of it is you've learned. I got some tricks up my sleeve that a lot of people don't know. But yeah, I've been bullish really since the 18th, 19th of March, and I remain that way to this point.
All right. So any trades we should be aware of right now? Or are we still digesting?
Yeah, no, we're pushing up a little bit today. I mean, today's a great rally across the board. The Russell 2000 is showing very, very good leadership. I'm sticking with everything that I'm holding. McDonald's, I have Coca-Cola. Southwest Airlines today is having a huge day, finally really taking flight, and that's up, $3 today. So that's a pretty big gain, almost 11% there. So, so far just sitting tight with what I'm holding. I'll be adding to a couple of things this week. Just wanted to get through the holiday and watch these formations, but there are areas now that are starting to evolve and break out. So we want to look at them a little bit closer. But right now, for now, I'm just sitting tight with my long positions.
All right. Well, it's really fascinating to watch all this unfold because very few people could have called that it was going to happen this way, but you did, and we'll be sticking with it. We'll see what happens. Hey, you want to find out more about what Nick's doing, his trading record, etc., go over to inthemoneystocks.com. Check out the Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago 01, at Kerry Lutz. And, of course, you can write us an email, kl@kerrylutz.com, kl@kerrylutz.com. Nick, we will catch up with you tomorrow.
Thank you, Kerry. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
This concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. For more information, go to inthemoneystocks.com and see Nick's full trading record, or check out the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago 01.